Ladies, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered what really makes a man fall in love? Not just infatuation, but real, deep, lasting love. Because here's the truth, men don't fall in love the way women do. It's not instant. It's not always obvious. But when it happens, it's powerful. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how men fall in love, step by step, so you never have to guess again. You see, before a man can truly fall in love, before the butterflies, before the deep emotions, before the commitment, there is something far more powerful that opens the door to his heart. And that's respect. A lot of people think men are all about physical attraction, that what pulls them in is what they see. But that's only the surface. What keeps a man leaning in, what makes him stay, what makes him choose you again and again, is the feeling of being admired and valued for who he is at his core. For a man, respect is like oxygen. It's what fuels his confidence, his drive, and ultimately, his capacity to love. When a man senses that you genuinely respect him, not just for what he does, not just for the job he has, the money he makes, or the car he drives, but for who he is as a person, something in him shifts. He feels seen. He feels safe. And most importantly, he feels worthy of loving you back with everything he's got. Think about it this way: when a man works hard, when he pushes through challenges, when he tries, even if he doesn't always succeed, what he craves deep down isn't perfection, it's appreciation. It's hearing those words, "I'm proud of you." It's feeling that his effort means something. And when a woman gives him that, when she recognizes his heart, his intentions, and not just the outcome, that's when love starts to grow in him. Respect doesn't mean blind agreement. It doesn't mean you can't challenge him or have your own voice. In fact, men are drawn to strong, grounded women who know who they are. But the difference is how that strength is expressed. Respect says, "I may not agree with you, but I honor the man you are. I trust your intentions. I see your effort." That's the kind of response that doesn't push him away. It pulls him closer. Now, here's the part most people miss. A man falls in love not when you fix him, not when you rescue him, and not when you give up everything for him. He falls in love when he feels like he can be a man around you without fear of being belittled, criticized, or constantly compared. He wants to know that the person he's becoming is enough for you. Because when he feels respected, he naturally wants to give you more, do more, and be more for you. Respect is what inspires his loyalty, his devotion, and his heart. And here's what's beautiful about this: it doesn't take grand gestures. It's in the small moments. When you acknowledge his effort, even if he didn't get it perfect. When you listen to him share his ideas without immediately tearing them down. When you trust him with decisions and let him feel capable. Those little actions speak louder than words, and they tell him, "I see you. I believe in you." And when a man feels that, he starts imagining a life with you, because you're not just someone he likes. You're someone who makes him feel like the best version of himself. So, respect isn't just a nice extra. For men, it's the foundation. It's the soil where love takes root. Without it, attraction fades. With it, love has room to grow strong and deep. And once a man feels respected by you, falling in love isn't something he resists. It's something he runs toward. That's where love truly begins. If respect opens the door to a man's heart, emotional safety is what makes him step inside and stay. Men aren't always taught to show their emotions. From a young age, a lot of us hear things like, "Toughen up," "Don't cry," or "Real men don't show weakness." So what happens? Most men learn to hide what they feel. They build walls. They wear masks. And on the outside, it can look like they're strong and steady, but on the inside, there's a whole world of feelings they rarely let anyone touch. Now here's the truth. A man may have a crowd of friends, he may have people he jokes with or works with, but very few people actually see him. Very few people know the fears he carries, the doubts that keep him up at night, or the pressure he feels to keep it all together. And when he finds a woman who doesn't just want the highlight reel, who doesn't just want the polished version of him, but is willing to sit with the raw, unfiltered version. That's when love begins to deepen. Emotional safety for a man doesn't mean fixing his problems. It doesn't mean solving everything he confesses. It means being a safe place where he can lay down his armor for a while, where he can admit, "I'm tired," or "I messed up," or even, "I don't know what to do," without feeling judged or less of a man. When he senses that you're not going to use his vulnerability against him later, when you don't laugh at his fears or dismiss his struggles, he learns to trust you with more of himself. And trust is the foundation of love. Think about it. When someone opens up to you, when they show you the parts they usually hide from the world, they're giving you the most valuable gift they have, their truth. Men may not hand that gift over easily, but once they do, once they feel safe enough to be fully seen and still accepted, that's when they attach in a powerful way. That's when they begin to say, "I can build a life here. I can love here." But here's where it gets even deeper. A man who feels emotionally safe doesn't just stop at sharing his weaknesses. He also shares his dreams. He lets you in on the future he wants, the man he's trying to become, the legacy he hopes to leave behind. And if he feels that you're standing beside him, encouraging him, not laughing at those dreams or tearing them down, he starts to weave you into that vision. You become part of his future, not just his present. The key is consistency. If one day you encourage his honesty but the next day you use it against him in an argument, the safety is gone. If you dismiss his feelings as overreacting or weak, the door closes. But if time after time you show that you can handle his truth without punishing him for it, the bond only grows stronger. And here's what most people don't realize: the more emotionally safe a man feels, the stronger he becomes. Because now he doesn't have to waste energy hiding. He doesn't have to guard his heart every second. He can focus on loving you, protecting you, and building with you, because he knows his own heart is protected in your hands. When a man feels emotionally safe, he doesn't just like you, he doesn't just stay with you. He lets himself love you fully. And that's the moment love takes root in the deepest part of him. That's when he finally lets go and falls. One of the most overlooked truths about men in love is this: men don't just fall in love because of how a woman looks, or even because of how much she cares for him. What truly pulls a man deeper is when she inspires him. When she makes him want to grow, not because she demands it, not because she pressures him, but because simply being with her makes him want to become a better version of himself. That inspiration is magnetic, and it's one of the strongest ways a man falls in love. See, men are naturally wired to want to achieve, to want to conquer goals, to feel like they're moving forward in life. But what really fuels that drive isn't success alone, it's having someone by their side who sparks something greater in them. A man can meet dozens of women, but the one who stays on his mind, the one he can't shake, is the one who lights that fire inside him without even trying. This doesn't mean you have to play the role of a teacher or a fixer. In fact, the opposite is true. A man doesn't fall for someone who constantly points out what's wrong with him or tells him who he should be. That only makes him feel small, and when he feels small, he pulls away. What makes him fall is when he feels encouraged, when he feels uplifted, when he looks at you and thinks, "Being with her makes me want to rise to the occasion." And it's often the simple things that inspire him the most. The way you carry yourself with confidence, the way you chase your own dreams, the way you speak life into him when he's doubting himself. When he sees that you're not just existing, but living with purpose, it stirs something in him. He wants to match that energy. He wants to be worthy of standing beside you. A man remembers how a woman makes him feel, and inspiration is one of the deepest feelings she can give him. It tells him, "You're capable of more. You're stronger than you think. You're better than your past." And without realizing it, he starts to associate her presence with his growth. He starts to connect love with progress, with becoming. And when a man connects love with becoming his best self, he doesn't want to let that go. But let me make this clear: This isn't about changing who he is. It's not about molding him into the man you want him to be. Real inspiration happens when you love him as he is, while also believing in the man he can be. It's when you say through your actions and your words, "I see greatness in you," even when you can't see it in yourself. That kind of belief is rare, and it's powerful. It makes a man fight harder, dream bigger, and love deeper. So many men will tell you that the woman they fell hardest for wasn't the one who was the most beautiful or the one who said all the right things. It was the one who made them feel like they were destined for more. Because when a man feels inspired, when he feels like his life is expanding because you're in it, he doesn't just fall in love, he commits to that love. He protects it. He values it. That's when love stops being a fleeting feeling and becomes a driving force. That's when he knows in his heart, this is the woman I want by my side. That's the power of inspiration. For a man, love is not proven in the grand gestures, it's proven in the patterns. Attraction might grab his attention, inspiration might light a spark, but what makes him stay, what makes him trust, is consistency. Consistency is what builds the foundation for love to last. Without it, everything else eventually crumbles. Men pay attention to whether words and actions line up. He listens to what you say, but he studies what you do. If your promises don't match your behavior, he notices. And when that happens too often, it creates doubt in his mind. But when your actions mirror your words, when you show up in a steady, predictable way, that's when he starts to relax. That's when his guard comes down. Because love, for a man, isn't just about how you make him feel in the moment, it's about how safe he feels over time. Think about it this way. If a man is going to give you his heart, he needs to know it's not going to be toyed with. He needs to know that the person he's opening up to today is going to be the same person tomorrow, next week, and next month. That doesn't mean you can't grow or change. It means the core of who you are stays reliable. Your love doesn't vanish when things get tough. Your kindness doesn't disappear when you're upset. Your respect doesn't evaporate when you're frustrated. That stability is what tells him, I can trust this. I can build here. And consistency isn't only about how you treat him. It's also about how you live your life. When he sees that you're consistent with your values, your boundaries, your goals, he knows you're grounded. And men are drawn to that steadiness because it feels like something they can lean on. Love isn't built on chaos, it's built on rhythm. And when he feels that rhythm with you, he doesn't want to lose it. Now, let's be honest, nobody is perfect. We all have moments where emotions get the best of us. But consistency isn't about never slipping, it's about always coming back to center. It's about showing through your actions that he can depend on you, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're not. When you keep your word, when you follow through, when you stay true to who you are, you're teaching him that you're safe. And safety is the root of trust. Here's the flip side. If he feels inconsistency, he struggles to attach. If you say one thing and do another, if you love him one day and punish him the next, if he never knows what version of you he's going to get, he doesn't fall deeper, he pulls back. Because men, like anyone, don't want to love in uncertainty. They want to know where they stand. But when a man experiences consistency, he starts to give more of himself. He starts to meet you with his own consistency. He shows up more, he invests more, he commits more. Because now it's not just about how much he enjoys you, it's about how much he trusts you. And once a man trusts you, love has room to grow stronger than ever. Consistency is the proof behind every word you speak. It's the quiet reminder that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice lived out every day. And when he sees that in you, he doesn't just admire it, he falls for it. That's when love turns into trust, and trust turns into forever. When it comes to how men fall in love, one of the most powerful forces isn't just romance, it's joy. A man may be drawn in by respect, emotional safety, and inspiration, but what really cements his connection is the laughter, the lightheartedness, the shared moments that make life feel brighter when you're around. Men don't always put this into words, but they fall in love through the memories you create together, the inside jokes only the two of you understand, and the little adventures that become stories he never forgets. Here's the thing, life is heavy. A man carries stress, responsibility, and pressure on his shoulders more than he admits. Work deadlines, financial goals, expectations from family or society. Most of the time, he's carrying weight in silence. And when he meets someone who can break through that, who can make him laugh even when he doesn't want to, who reminds him that life isn't just about surviving, but actually about living, that's when he starts to feel something deeper. Love grows in those moments of shared joy because it feels rare, it feels healing, and it feels unforgettable. Think about the times you've laughed so hard with someone that your stomach hurt, or when you've been on a simple outing that turned into an adventure because of how fun it was together. Those are the moments that stick, the ones that play back in your head when you're apart. For men, those experiences aren't just enjoyable, they create emotional anchors. He doesn't just think, she's beautiful. He thinks, I feel alive when I'm with her. And that feeling is what pulls him closer again and again. And it's not about doing extravagant things. It's not about fancy dates or constant entertainment. It's the small, shared joys that matter most. Cooking together and laughing when the recipe goes wrong. Taking a walk and having conversations that wander as much as your steps do. Teasing each other in a playful way that builds connection instead of tearing it down. Love often hides in these simple, joyful exchanges. Here's what's important though, shared joy requires presence. You can't build it if you're always distracted, always on your phone, or always serious. It means being present enough to catch those little opportunities to create fun. Men fall in love when they realize that with you, life feels lighter. It doesn't mean problems disappear, but they become easier to carry because there's laughter in the mix. Now, some people might think men only value peace and quiet, but the truth is, men want both peace and joy. They want the calm of knowing they're safe with you and the thrill of knowing they'll laugh with you. The combination of stability and playfulness is what creates balance. Without joy, love feels like work. With joy, love feels like home. And here's the secret: when a man connects joy to you, he doesn't want to lose it. Because it's not just about being in love. It's about loving how he feels when he's with you. That's the difference between someone he enjoys spending time with and someone he can't imagine life without. So yes, men fall in love through shared joy. Through the little smiles, the silly jokes, the adventures, and the moments that no one else would understand but the two of you. Those are the threads that weave a bond stronger than words. That's when he realizes love isn't just serious, it's also fun. And that's when he knows he's found something worth holding on to. For a man, falling in love isn't just about chemistry or comfort, it's about purpose. Men are wired to want their lives to mean something, to know that what they're building has value. And when he meets a woman who doesn't just take up space in his life, but gives it greater direction, that's when his love shifts from interest to commitment. He doesn't just see her as someone he enjoys, he sees her as someone who completes the bigger picture of his life. Every man, deep down, is searching for significance. Some chase it through career, others through achievements, some through family or legacy. But no matter how he pursues it, there's this quiet question running in the background. Am I doing this alone, or do I have someone beside me who makes the journey worth it? When a man feels that his purpose is stronger, clearer, and more meaningful because of the woman by his side, love becomes more than a feeling, it becomes his decision. This doesn't mean she's carrying him or directing his path. It's not about telling him what to do or shaping him into the man she wants. What makes him fall in love is when she stands with him, not above him or behind him, but beside him. When she believes in what he's capable of, when she encourages his vision without trying to control it, he sees her as his partner. And a man doesn't commit his heart to someone who only fits into his present. He commits to someone he can build a future with. Purpose also shows up in the way she connects him to something bigger than himself. It could be how she reminds him of his values when life gets messy, or how she supports him when he doubts his abilities, or even how she inspires him to imagine a family, a legacy, or a life he didn't fully envision before. Her presence